Hello and welcome, disruptors. Welcome to another episode of Mindset Mastery Moments with Dr. Elisa White, your number one mindset disruptor. Because guess what? Your mindset is the key to your success in your life, in your career, in your business, and in everything you do and everything that you're going to level up in and achieve. Hey, this is all about an audio-only moment to help you enhance your daily routines by providing new perspectives, encouraging your personal and professional growth, and pushing you beyond your comfort zone for optimum success. So let's dive right in today's episode. The end of 2023. Hello, everyone. Hello, disruptors. We took a week off and we are back to finish up 2023 with the right perspective. Hey, it's Dr. Elisa White, your number one mindset disruptor, and we are here for an exceptionally special episode of Mindset Mastery Moments. Today, we're diving deep into the art of goal setting and understanding why it's not just about having goals, but it's truly about how we navigate the journey to success. You see, goals are definitely a foundational part of establishing a framework that allows us to really and truly achieve everything that we want to be. Today, our esteemed guest really doesn't need introduction, but there will be one. You know, when we think about getting through our goals, this year as I sat and I took inventory, is what I call it, of my goals, and I looked at all the things that I did accomplish, all the things I didn't accomplish, and all the things that I didn't even set out to accomplish, but I did. Because, hey, we have to be very thorough, and we'll talk about that on another episode. But our guest today says that the address you input into your life determines the destination. My friend, I am thrilled that this individual has decided to be our inaugural guest of Mindset Mastery Moments. His work and his life perfectly embodies the core principles of what this podcast stands for in the world. His journey from homelessness to becoming a global influencer and a top motivational speaker is testament to the transformative power of mindset mastery. Today, I am honored to bring to our stage, let's give him an absolute warm welcome, our very own Dr. Karim R. Ellis. Woo! Welcome, Dr. Karim.
Well, it's always a pleasure. It's a privilege. And it's an honor to be here today. Come on, we're getting ready to kick off a brand new year. I'm talking about how we can do and achieve more in 2024. And it starts with mindset mastery. So I'm ecstatic about some of the territory we're going to climb into today. I'm ecstatic about it.
Absolutely, Dr. Karim. Listen, I waited weeks. We talked about you being on the podcast, and we wanted the timing to be so perfect for our listeners, because I believe that a lot of us set goals that we did not achieve, and we have a whole attitude about it. But you know what, Dr. Green, before I let you loose, I hope everybody's got a cup of water, because you're going to put some ice in. If you don't have water, just get some ice in whatever beverage you're going to drink. Put down the coffee cup. Don't, even if it's 20 degrees outside, because it's about to get really hot in here. I want to tell you a few things about our guest today, Dr. Karim R. Ellis. I want to let you know that he is not just a phenomenal speaker. He does not really need accolades, but he's got a whole lot of them as badge of honors. Let me tell you about Dr. Karim today. Dr. Karim is known as the number one breakthrough strategist. Did you hear what I said? The number one breakthrough strategist. He is also international bestselling author about the book we're going to talk a lot about, which is GPS My Success. Also, he is an international motivational speaker of the International Motivational Speaker of the Year. He is also the founder and creator of a phenomenal speakers academy. Because listen, when you're as great as he is, it is important. He'll talk some more about mentorship and the importance of that in your journey. You must be able to teach what you have learned so that legacy continues. He has also been traveling the world, not only speaking, but he also is an avid humanitarian and a servant leader. Dr. Karim has been featured in news outlets such as NBC, Fox, CBS, Yahoo Finance, and a whole list of other media, both nationally and internationally. Also, I can tell you that he developed something that I love to hear him speak about, and that is the VSM matrix, one of his principles that is also embedded in his international best-selling book, where he talks about goal achievement. And also, I can go on and on and on, but you're going to hear more and more this outstanding human that stands before us to teach us today how to literally GPS your way to more in 2024. Dr. Karim, tell us all about it. What is the difference with setting goals and GPSing our way?
Absolutely. So I think all of us set goals. I don't think there's a person out there that has never woke up January 1st and screamed out new year, new me, going in a new direction, going to accomplish and do so many different things. And most statistics say that the concession of most New Year's resolutions fall flat by February 1st. That means in roughly a 30-day time frame, most people that set out goals to lose weight, to make more money, to go after that dream vacation, that dream house, most of these things fall flat by February 1st. And we're going to get into why that happens. And we're going to talk about 5 dynamic ways of how you can stay focused from the beginning of the year all the way to the cusp of the end of the year and see dynamic results all throughout your life. We're talking finances, we're talking relationships, we're talking employment, we're talking entrepreneurship, we're talking all things that should matter to you as you're trying to go out there and get extraordinarily more in 2024. So I'm ecstatic to see where this conversation goes today.
I am too, because let me tell you guys, this book with this handsome guy on the cover, GPS My Success. This book, I call it, Dr. Karim knows, I tell him it's a manual. And I have read it 3 times, just the book. I got the hardcover copy, guys, because when I first read his book, it was online. I got a soft copy, but then I had to get a hard copy because this thing, it's in my pocketbook. It goes to work with me. I can pop it out. And I've also been able to listen to it audibly on my Amazon account. So it is a manual. One of the things you talk about, Dr. Karim, in the book, in the very beginning chapter, is that you shared a scenario, and I want to bring this up today. You talked about losing 30 pounds in 30 days. Now, that's not something that I've been able to do yet. And I say yet, right? But you were so specific about achieving that. Yeah. Talk to us about why, when we write our goals down at the end of the year, and we move into the year, why is it that statistics says 80% of individuals will set goals for the new year and only 8% of them will actually attain them? How did you manage to set your goals so clearly by using the principles in what I call my life manual for goal setting and achieving? Because we don't just set, we achieve.
Sure.
How did you do that?
Yeah, well, that's an awesome question. I think that's the one question I get the most when it comes to goal achievement. And the reason why I called the book GPS My Success, one of my favorite scriptures in the book of life says, write the vision and make it plain. It doesn't say make it confusing, doesn't say make it convoluted, because it's darn near impossible for your mind to go after something if there's no clarity involved in it. We're going to go deep into this today. So if you are watching or listening, take detailed notes. And then, of course, you probably want to pick up the book at the end of all this, right? But that's what we'll start the journey at. We'll start it with setting the address. The reason why I love a GPS so much is because I believe the GPS is a vision machine, meaning a GPS is useless till you first decide to give it an address. And for those of you that own GPS technology, I double dog dare you to prove me wrong. That GPS can't do anything until you first get clear as the driver of the vehicle as to where I want to go in this day, this time, this season, this age. So when it comes to losing weight, when it comes to making more money, when it comes to chasing goals and chasing dreams, that all starts the same exact way. First, I have to have clear vision on what it is I actually want. And the problem I see with most people, they move in a state of confusion, not clarity. So we'll jump into that in a second. But let me talk about why it is exceptionally important for you to set an address inside your life GPS. And there's a multitude of different things I can talk about, but I know we got time constraints. So I'm going to kind of narrow the focus down to two things. Number one, whatever address you put inside a GPS, that becomes the central focus. I'm going to say this again. That becomes the central focus. One of the videos I put up on my Instagram a few days ago, I talked about how I had a conversation with one of the world's greatest motivational speakers, a friend of mine by the name of Mr. Les Brown. And he says, we live in a day and an age with weapons of mass distraction, not destruction, because we used to talk about weapons of mass destruction, mass distraction. That means every day I wake up, from the time I get up to the time I lay down, between social media, between the news, between all the drama with friends and family members and relatives, the nonsense on my job, there are a bunch of multitudes of distractions that pop up every single day. And a distraction does one thing exceptionally well. It robs you of your focus. What blows my mind is if I decide to right now jump inside my car and shoot downtown Cincinnati, which is about a good 22 to 25 minute ride, right? I could be driving in my car after I put that address in the GPS. I can have my Snapchat open. I can have my LinkedIn account open. I could be listening to my iTunes while I'm driving. I can have all these things going on if I'm using GPS on my phone. And my GPS will interrupt a phone conversation. My GPS will interrupt whatever app I'm on. If I'm in the middle of sending an email, it will circumvent all that because the GPS, while it's in usage, it becomes one of the dominant applications in the process. It will interrupt everything to let me know I'm still en route to my dynamic destination. And so that's what I mean by focus. When I put an address inside my GPS, I have to have intent focus on where I'm going to. The second reason this is so important, it lets me know what resources is needed for the journey. And I got to be candid about this, because I hope no one thinks that whatever goal you're going after, you're going to get there without the usage of resources. Well, Doc, what's resources? I'm glad you asked. Talk about resources, I'm talking about money. I'm talking about the value of time. I'm talking about the education that you have or the education you need to get. We're talking about the connections. I think success is 50% what you know, 50% who you know, and what they know about you. For most of us, in order to get to the next level, it's not about what I know, it's about who I know and what they know about me, right? Mm-hmm. And then we're talking about relationships, where they're talking about romantic, friendship, family, and then we're talking about, more importantly, our God-given gift and talent. Because I think these are all resources I can utilize that's going to help me get to my finish line quicker and faster. But if I don't know what address I'm going after, what will happen, Dr. Lisa? I'll mismanage the resources. Like, I remember back before I was 26 years old and I didn't have an address in my GPS. I wasn't thinking entrepreneurship. I wasn't thinking about escaping the 9 to 5. I wasn't thinking about speaking and traveling all over the world. So when money hit my pocket, I would find a way to blow it hanging out with buddies, going out to clubs, going out to bars. I'm going to be candid. Back in the day, going out with women, I was spending money on everything except what it should have been spent on, right? And it's so important because we're right around the corner from income tax season. And I see this. I've coached and trained a lot of people. And for a lot of people, I got to get that website up. I got to get my LLC created. I got to get my marketing plan. And so for a lot of people, they may be looking at that income tax return. If you got kids, I don't know, maybe $2,000, $3,000, $4,000, $6,000, $8,000, whatever you're getting back. Do you have a plan for that money before it arrives? This is why vision is so important. If I don't know where I'm going, I'll mismanage my money. And that money could be the very thing that could catapult me into my fantastic finish line. If I don't know the value of time, I will spend my time engaging in everything and anything except for spending the time on the one thing that's most important, which is watering the dream seed of what I'm trying to grow and harvest in the season. If I don't have the right vision, I'll fail on education. Because I'll be honest with you, with most of us, our education goes from kindergarten to 12th grade. And if we decide to do the college thing, depending on whether you are focused on what you want, or if you are a career student, we know we got some career students that's been in the hallowed halls of college education for more than 4 years. I can't figure out my major. I'm going on year number 6. Sometime this year I'm figured out, right? But what I've learned is the education that served me the most in entrepreneurship is what I learned outside the school system.
Yes.
Those are the success principles, right? And if I'm not clear about the vision, then what will happen is I'll fail because I'll go after the wrong education. So I got to be clear about this vision thing, even down to the connections. When you get clear about the direction you're going in, you start to make strategic connections. It's amazing because most of us, we just connect with people based on our comfort level, meaning we have a few things shared in common. Maybe we work together 40 hours a week. So because we work together, we form a connection, right? Maybe because we go to the same church or we live in the same neighborhood. Oh, I see you all the time at the gym. We form a connection. But when I get clear about the vision, which is I want to escape my 9 to 5, I want to open up a business, I want a 6-figure salary. Now my connections differ because I'm strategically looking for people that's on the same playing field, that have the same high vibrational energy level versus the bottom feeders that may be slowing me down and taking me backwards. And of course, I got to throw out their relationships. When I say relationships, I'm talking romantic relationships, whether you are married to the person, dating the person, whether it's a situationship where I don't know what we got going on, but we feeling each other, from different peers you hang around. When you get clear about the address, that'll even affect how you select the relationships in your life.
Yes.
That'll select how, because let's be real, for a lot of people, they are unequally yoked. And when I say unequally yoked, I'm not meaning marriage, because you can be unequally yoked in a friendship. You can be unequally yoked in a business partnership. Yes. There are so many ways you can be unequally yoked. But when you get clear on the vision, you get clear on who you should be riding with to your finish line versus who I got to release, who I got to let go. One of my favorite phrases is I'm the CEO of my life. My life is a dictatorship, it's not a democracy. Yes. It means I have the right to hire and fire as needed. If I feel that you are going to slow me down on the process of success in any way, shape, or form, I will dismiss you, give you your pink slip, and let you go until you figure out what happened. You'll just wake up one day and find yourself blocked on everything. I can't find him on Facebook. I can't find him on Instagram. He's not. I'm still there. I just let you go because I don't have anything for it, right? Yeah, so we got to be clear about this because most of us are trying to chase a vision, but we don't even know what resources we need for the journey, or more importantly, what resources no longer serve us and service us, because we can hold on to outdated, expired resources on the journey, right? Sometimes mentorship arrangement, that's an outdated resource. If I hit a certain level of success, this person may no longer be able to pour into my cup anymore. So I got to know when to let people go as well.
Oh my goodness. One of my favorite. Just so the viewers know, he has just breezed through the first 3 chapters of the book. if you listen, he has given you the highlights. Okay, so again, it's a shameless plug because I don't talk about anything, and no one will ever be on this show besides Dr. Karim is part of my inner circle. And his work, he's also been my coach, my mentor, and I'm blessed to call him my friend. But this book, you heard him, he just spilled it out. And so one of the things I'm going to pivot to that you kind of touched on, and I want us to linger a little bit longer there, is those common pitfalls, because you already talked about a couple of them. Those situationships, relationships, friendships, familiar relationships, even families. You've got to look at how that, you said in the book that you should make SMART goals and you should be so specific. Sure. And that the GPS cannot have 2 addresses in it at the same time. And I'm like, it don't get any more clear than that. But tell us that, because despite good intentions, many people fall short of their goals, Dr. Karim. Yeah. What are some of those common pitfalls in addition to what you just gave us so well that you've observed that when we try to set goals, and we're not having that right address, we put the right address in it, right? We're on the road because we're like, okay, I know what my purpose is. I know where I'm going. You said we can be distracted. Distracted. You also have this quote that I love. Distracted drivers destroy dreams. If I said it right, if I did, you correct me. But what are some of those pitfalls that we sit into that causes us not to achieve the goals once we get the right address in GPS?
Yeah. So what happens a lot of times, this is an age-old principle and philosophy. And for all my parents on here today, you'll recognize what I'm talking about because I in my household growing up, we grew up super strict. We grew up with parents that made it clear the only way we were allowed to hang with certain kids was based on whether or not our parents knew your parents, right? Because they wanted to have some sort of idea what the element was. And so I believe in the birds of a feather flock together philosophy. The problem is with most of us, we don't think about that when we start to form connections with people. So if I'm driving downtown, that's the scenario I gave earlier, and I decide to stop at the corner and pick someone up who's got their thumb out needing a ride, right? At that moment, if I pick that person up, put them in the car, I go 2 blocks down and someone else is out there saying my car broke down. They got their thumb up hitchhiking, and I put them in. Before you know, I got 3 people in the car. My goal is to get downtown as quickly as possible, right? But when I pick up those 3 people, I guarantee you that 9 times out of 10, none of them are deciding to go downtown. They got their own destination they're trying to get to. And so now I have allowed myself to get distracted. Even though the GPS is telling me where to go, I'm now doing what this person needs. I'm now going where this person wants. I'm now doing what this person needs. And so, believe it or not, I could very, very easily waste all my time, right, running all these folks around and then fail to arrive at my destination. So the reason why I'm giving you the scenario, because many of us, and I know picking up hitchhikers is not safe. I'm not telling you to do it. Walk their grandpa say, Doc Karim said, pick you up. I'm not telling you that. What I am saying to you is you got to be careful of the hitchhikers in your personal life. You're going to cross a lot of people that got their thumb up saying, hey, I'm trying to go here. Are you going my way? And before you know it, you will pick someone up based on a conversation, right? Mm-hmm. Based on shared acquaintances. Maybe you work at the same job. Maybe you belong to some of the same organizations or religious organizations. And before you know it, you are getting distracted because you are adding people to the journey that's not supposed to be in the car in the first place, right? So I want to be very, very clear. Anytime I have mismanaged resources, and I'm going to go a little bit spiritual here, so I'm not trying to offend anybody. I know we got different religious beliefs and backgrounds. I'm not trying to convert nobody. I'm not trying to baptize anybody, but I'm going to speak from the Christian's perspective using the book of life, right? What I have learned is the concept of resources for me boils down into 2. Meaning, in order for me to be successful, I have to have certain resources. I gave you the resources on it. I said money, time, education, connections, relationships, and most importantly, my God-given gift and my talent. But I can water my resources down by bringing people along for the journey that's not supposed to be in the car in the first place.
Yes.
This is why I got to be so careful who I connect with, right? Yes. When we connect with people and we don't have our guard up, we don't stay focused. The GPS has been programmed, yet you are allowing yourself to get distracted. The GPS will still try to calculate every time you make a wrong turn, drop someone off. So the mission is the same. But what you're doing is you're wasting the most powerful resource you have, which is time. That's the thing that's not granted. It's not promised. We don't know how much time we have to get to our assorted finish line. So I want to be very, very clear before I let someone in the car. If I'm going 20 minutes towards downtown, which takes me west into Cincinnati, Ohio, and you asking me, can I run you 40 miles east, which is the opposite way, I'm not going to be the person to help you out. I would love to if I had the free time to give to you, but I'm on assignment in 2024 because I want to get my more, and my more is always larger than me. Right? Yes. One of the things we're going to talk about before we get off today is the idea that whatever my vision is, I don't want a selfish vision.
Come on.
I don't want a selfish vision because I'll achieve that vision quicker and faster if I make the vision larger than myself. And facts about it, if the vision is larger than me, it's easier for me to tap into other people that can help me get that vision off the ground quicker and faster if it's not a selfish vision. Right. So we'll talk about that a little bit later. But I got to be clear about that because I can waste my resources very easily based on who I'm hanging with. I can waste my money. But we've been there. We've all gone out to put more money in our budget than because I'm hanging with somebody. Right. Or the other thing is what I call the living like the Joneses. Right. And we all know that. We see everybody on social media flossing and showing out. And so now we try to duplicate with our resources what we see. Right. And that's another way we get distracted. When that address is locked in the GPS, I don't care about what I see from other people. I don't care about what other people are doing. I don't care where other people are trying to get to. I'm focused intently, streamline, tunnel vision on my goal and my dream because that's the address I put inside the GPS. If I want to lose weight, I'm tunnel vision. If I want to raise money, I'm tunnel vision. If I want to form more strategic, collaboratively driven connections, I'm tunnel vision. I'm not allowing myself to get off the beaten pathway because of what other people around me may or may not be doing.
Listen, we have Dr. Karim is going to wrap up every episode that preceded this one in one episode. He said, you said, Dr. Karim, beware of the hitchhikers. You got the right address and stealing your most valuable resource, which is time. We just spoke about that a couple weeks ago.
Yeah.
Listen, I want y'all to invite you to go ahead and grab yourself a nice cup of water with ice because he just turned on the oven. It's not cooking in here yet. So we'll be right back after a message from our sponsors. Woo, welcome back. Welcome back. Welcome back. Welcome back. We just came from pitfalls. Now, Dr. Karim, one of the things you mentioned also in the book is adapting your goals over time.
Yes.
You didn't say it exactly in those words, but you talk a lot about recalculating. The audience here on Mindset Mastery Moments globally, we have come in and number one across different countries, but we've landed in the top 100 podcasts, top 1% in the world. We're blessed. So we've got a lot of people saying, Dr. Karim, does my goals need adjustment? Are there certain circumstances that change? How do you advise individuals to adapt their goals while maintaining the overall vision and staying? Remember, we've got the right address in the GPS now.
Sure.
But life starts lifing. How do we adapt?
Yeah, I like how you said that life starts lifing. And it's amazing that they call it Murphy's Law. Murphy's Law says that which can go wrong will go wrong at that one inopportune moment in time. And so when Murphy decides to knock on your door and say hello, the question is, do you call it quits out of frustration? Do you call it quits because everything's not going according to plan? Or will you allow yourself to recalculate? The reason why this chapter in the book is so important is if I put an address inside of GPS and I allow myself to get distracted. Maybe I just wasn't paying attention while I was driving. Maybe I was looking at something on the side of the road and I missed my turnoff, right? I'm not going to beat myself up. I'm not going to call myself harsh names and say, go back home, dummy. You messed up, right? I guess we can't make it to the finish line. Or if I'm driving down the road and there's a major accident and now the traffic is backed up and I can't move forward, again, I'm not going to beat myself up. I'm not going to call it quits. I'm not going to throw in the towel. I'm not going to go back home. I understand like a GPS will immediately begin to recalculate. Why? There's more than one way to make it to your fantastic finish line. The problem with most of us is we're so locked into tunnel vision that we don't have flexibility. I'm going to say that again. We're so locked on tunnel vision that we lack flexibility. And flexibility may take us off the beaten pathway. It may take you a little bit longer because the GPS is giving you a different route. That different route may cost you a little bit more of your time. It may cost you a little bit more of your money and your fuel, but you will make it to your fantastic finish line if you just follow the course. The problem with a lot of people is we run into what I call temporary delays. We think that temporary delay is a permanent no. There's a message I gave a long time ago where I said all red lights eventually turn green. Do you have the mental tenacity and patience in order to wait? Meaning, if you were trying to get your business off the ground, if you were trying to elevate from 5 figures to 6 figures, if you're trying to make your love life work out and you keep running into these brick walls, you don't throw in the towel on something like that. Right? You allow yourself the understanding that there's more than one way to get to the finish line. And until I've tried every single option possible, not just the easiest route, because most of us as human beings, we are designed to go after the easiest route first, right? We don't want to go after the route that stretches and challenges because it's going to cost us something. It's going to cost us the dollar amount of your comfortability. And let me be real, you can never be successful in a comfortable environment. I've said this on many stages and platforms a multitude of times where I say a comfort zone to me is in comparison to a casket. And for most of us, we've had the privilege of being at a funeral. So we know what happens in the casket. We got a family member or a friend or a colleague laid out in the casket, and I've never seen them in that casket looking uncomfortable. I've never looked down and said, ooh, that casket look. Ooh, they're going to be knotted up like that. Y'all burying them like that. Like they neck look all out of place. They shoulders too high. They look like they risk them. I mean, again, they're already dead, so they're going to make a difference, right? But if you look at a casket, the casket is nice and quilted. It's comfortable. Facts about it, the more comfortable it looks, the more they charge, right? Oh, yeah. They want to act the world in the best of the best, $9,000 for the casket, right? Yes. Yeah. But the reason why I say a comfort zone is like a casket, because a casket is only good for holding one thing. Caskets don't hold money. Caskets don't hold education. Ooh. Caskets don't hold opportunity. Caskets are designed to hold dead things. The only thing you can find inside a casket is something that is dead. And so if I'm hanging out inside the comfort zone of my life, that's the equivalent of a casket. And if I hang there too long, I may accidentally get too comfortable. And all someone has to do is shut the casket closed. And that's it. We can have a funeral, put a scoop of dirt on top of it, and game is over. So I want to be very clear that I'm not hanging around in that comfort zone. So when I recalculate, a lot of times recalculation is so painful because it takes me out of my comfort zone, right? Yes. I got to be willing to do that because I want to stretch myself in order to grow. You will always be reinventing yourself. You will always reinvent yourself every single year, because that's how you know that you're in growth mode. The way I know a tree is dead, all I gotta do is look up and see it stops producing leaves. The moment I see that tree is no longer producing leaves, it's dead. It can't do anything but be cut down. It can't hold life. It can't sustain life, right? And I always want to be in the flow and the effort of life. So I just want to make sure that the recalculation, the beautiful thing is it takes me outside of my comfort zone.
Yes.
So in the flow with it, right?
Woo. There we go, guys. You got it. How do we adapt? You have to recalculate. You've got to recalculate. The other thing I want you to talk about is your VSM matrix as it relates to goal achievement, because I absolutely love this. And you know that I feed on your VSM matrix and try to align my own goal setting and my own life in accordance with that. You've talked about that, where you VSM, for those who are new, I'm going to introduce to one of Dr. Karim's global principles that he teaches all over the world. It's vision, strategy, and mentorship.
Yes.
How does this matrix tie into an effective goal setting when we think about it? How can you share with us some examples of how individuals have successfully used this matrix, or how you like to teach it? Because we want to know. Here's the thing. We're walking away today. And let me tell you guys, this is a lot. You're getting the goods. If you tune into this episode and you're listening now, I want you to go ahead, get your notebook. We're almost to the home run. And I'm still telling you, get the manual. Get the manual. Go to Amazon and you type in GPS My Success. You'll see this handsome guy and grab that copy. And he will be giving away something at the end of the show. So stay with us. But how do we use this matrix of vision, strategy, and mentorship? And also in the book, you talk about how sometimes you have to reshuffle that. So if you can go into it.
Absolutely. So so the reason I love this concept so much, because I look at it like a pyramid, like a trifecta. And in order for a pyramid to stand, all three sides have to be present. You can't remove one of those sides and think it's going to be stationary. So when we talk about vision, of course, everything starts with vision. So I want to be very, very clear on what it is I want. Now, I'm going to go a little bit deeper than I normally would, but I'm going to tie some GPS philosophy principles into the VSM matrix real quickly. There's a part in GPS where we talk about clarity over confusion, meaning when I put an address inside of GPS, the GPS gives me crystal clear instructions on how to get from where I am to where I want to go. So again, using the analogy of driving from my location to downtown Cincinnati, 22, maybe 25-minute drive, depending on traffic, it's going to tell me to make a right out of my driveway. I'm going to make a right on Galbraith Road. I'm going to drive down for about 10 seconds. I'm going to turn right on a Ronald Reagan South, and I'm going to ride Ronald Reagan West. I'm going to ride Ronald Reagan West for about a good 15 minutes. I'm going to merge on the I-75 South. I'm going to ride I-75 South all the way down to exit number 4. And when I make exit number 4, boom, I'm downtown. Those instructions are so clear and so simple. Even the dumbest person can follow those instructions, right? We ain't talking about the MapQuest.com days. We got to print out all those sheets of paper and try to keep up with it in real time while you drive. The GPS is telling you turn right, turn left, get your left-hand lane, merge right. It's giving you simple instructions. Why? Because we always process clarity over confusion. Right. Yes. And the reason why this is so important, because I think that one of the things we fail to talk about is the power of the subconscious mind, meaning we operate out of two halves of our mind every single day. You have the conscious mind, which is your alert mind that says, hey, brother's looking dapper. He's got on a gray suit, got a tie with some purple inside of it, got some nice ambiance going on in the background. Dr. Lisa's rocking a nice red outfit with some sexy red lipstick and some nice glasses. That's the conscious mind. The conscious mind sees everything in real time. But the real power of programming takes place in the subconscious mind.
Come on.
And the subconscious mind, it doesn't discriminate against the idea. So I want you to think about your subconscious mind like a very, very fertile field. Meaning whether you plant weed or seed, the subconscious mind's job is to make you grow. The more you hit me in repetition with it, it's going to grow that thing, and I'm going to act on that thing. So most of your buying decisions from major marketing companies, they set their ads up to target your subconscious mind, not just your conscious mind.
Come on now.
Right? Because we know the programming starts here. The more you hear a thing, the more you think about a thing, then eventually the more you act on that thing. So we know major organizations and companies run marketing campaigns for millions and billions of dollars, every single year because they're basing their technique on programming your mind to believe they make the best car, they make the best snack chip, they make the best brand of beer, they're the best realtor company, they're the best stock or tech company. Then you got to understand you have the same ability to do that for yourself. You can program your own subconscious mind to get the results you want. So when it goes to setting vision for me starts in the subconscious mind. I want to program my mind with the idea of what that vision is in specificity. It can't be vague. If I want to lose weight, I can't say, man, I want to lose some weight in 2024. Because if you go to the gym for 6 months and you clean up your act, that means you ain't got no sweets, no bad carbs. You getting your gallon of water in a day. You have cut out all the nonsense. And at the end of 6 months, you get on the scale and the scale says you lost 5 pounds. I'm sure somebody going to be pissed. Because here's the thing, the subconscious mind says you just said you lost weight. You didn't give me specifics over. So guess what? You lost weight. Are you happy? Are those the results you wanted? If those are not the results you wanted, you failed because you didn't specifically say, I want to lose 32 pounds. Specifically. The subconscious mind processes best in specificity, even when it comes to money. You can't just say, I want more money in 2024. Be specific about the dollar amount you want to see sitting inside your bank account by the stroke of midnight 2024. Be clear about it. Because if you say you want more money, I mean, let's be real. I'm sitting here holding a beat up $2 bill. I can give this to you $2 richer than when you met me. But I guarantee if your goal was to see more in 2024, you wanted more than $2 more in your bank account.
That's right.
So when it comes to vision, the first part of the VSM matrix, I want to be clear about the vision to specifics. I want to be down to the wire on what I want this vision to look like. And once I get clear with the vision, then I want to jump to the next portion, which is strategy, meaning what is the strategy I am going to apply every single day, week, month, and year until said vision produces a result. I love the idea of merging football into this. I know we got some folks out there, some football fans, and when you watch the offensive team in between plays, they go into a huddle. Not to talk about what they're going to do after the game, not to talk about, does my breath stink? No, bro, your breath smells great. That's not what's going on in the huddle. In the huddle, the quarterback is coming up with a play or a strategy that's going to move the ball a minimum of 10 yards down the field. Minimum, right? Because in a game of football, all I need is 10 yards to get a first down and keep the game in play. So you have to figure out, once you understand the vision, what's the strategy I'm going to use is going to get my ball 10 yards down the field to keep the ball and play with the first down until I get closer and closer to the end zone. With me personally, when I started my journey out, I started out with a vintage toy collection. I was actually selling vintage toys as a vintage toy dealer. And then that jumped over into real estate. And I was buying and fixing and flipping houses. And that was my 10-yard strategy every single day till I produced the vision I had for financial freedom, to walk away from the 9-to-5 job, to be able to have enough free time to go out there and speak on stages nationally, internationally. So I want to be clear about the strategy. Does the strategy make sense? And am I applying the strategy on a regular basis? And then the third part of this, we got vision, we got strategy, then we got mentorship. And amongst all those, this is a necessity because the most valuable resource in the world, we said it earlier, is your time, right? And every single day, everything is fighting for your time. Your job doesn't love you because you got that college degree. Don't get mad at me, right? They love you because you're willing to trade 40 hours a week of your time to get stuff done, and they compensate you based on that. Right? Yeah. Don't believe me. Start showing up late. Start whittling them 40 hours down to 35 or 32 hours and watch what they do to you.
That's it.
Is it really about money? It's really about time. Because people don't love you because of your degree. They love you because you're willing to trade your value for time. And the real joke is, for most people, you're not getting paid what you really worth. Don't anybody come at me at once. I'm just saying, you are more valuable than what anybody can pay you right now.
Yeah.
It's a conversation for another topic, but I'm just letting you know right now, no matter what you're getting paid, your value exceeds that, right?
Yes.
But when I say mentorship, Dr. Lisa, I say it so candidly because the value of a mentor is, a mentor has been in the same trenches I want to get into. They fought the same battles, the same wars. They've had the victories. They know the strategies. They understand the vision. And more important than knowing the vision and the strategies, they have been through the battle and took losses on that battlefield. They've got battle scars from where they took losses. Scars. Yeah, financial scars, mental scars, relationship scars, partnership scars. They've got the scar. And believe it or not, I will learn more from your losses, your defeats, and your setbacks than your victories. Because
Come
if I'm
on.
going down the same pathway you're going, I'm going to encounter some of the same hurdles, demons, and dragons you had to face off. So if you
Yes.
can see what you know, so I ain't got to spend 40 years in my own proverbial wilderness to figure it out. Oh, that's a blessing in disguise, right? So I want to make sure that I find the right mentor, not someone who's just successful, not someone who's got money, not someone who's posting on social media on the IG reel. I want to know you have made success doing the very thing I want to do. If I want to speak, I want to know, have you been there and done that? If I want to put out, I want to know if you've been there, done that. If I want to make money in stocks, in crypto, I want to know, have you made it that way? Otherwise, you can't really teach me how to master that particular skill set. Nope. So if you focus on those three things, I think that the masses of folks listening to this message today, 2024 is going to knock on the door saying, hey, did you order more? Someone told me to DoorDash you more. we here, right? Boom. Covered. Right? Yeah, they're gonna get they more in 2024.
Woo! Listen, this is why I absolutely love it. And the thing you said that stands out, the only real shortcut you're gonna get to achieving your goals is that mentor. Yes. And you said that the mentor, you can learn more from them, from their struggles, than their actual wins. And honestly, that's why we say there's a shortcut, right, Dr. Karim? Because once you listen, your mentor knows all the details, and they will share their shortfalls. So you don't have to do it. That is what saves your time, because we said earlier in the podcast, you reminded us that the most valuable resource we have is time. We're going to come right back after these messages to learn from Dr. Karim about his work as a mentor. We'll be right back. I know you did not want to hear my voice. I know you were tuned in, but yes, we are pausing to continue this 2-part episode with the phenomenal thought leader, Dr. Karim R. Ellis, the #1 breakthrough strategist, with how to GPS our way to more in 2024. Hasn't this been a phenomenal episode? Are you feeling the heat? Have you been taking notes? Show us some love in the comments wherever you're listening to or watching this episode of Mindset Mastery Moments with Dr. Elisa White. I want you to go ahead and start to find Dr. Karim Ellis at KarimREllis.com, at KarimEllis.com, or on his social media handles. He loves to connect with you on Instagram at Karim Ellis 2.0. He is definitely ready to help us with our 2.0 version of ourselves. So listen, remember that everything begins with your thoughts, and all of these mind-blowing, mindset disrupting moments that we've had with Dr. Karim, I hope that you are able to share it with someone and come back and listen to it as many times as you need to. But jump over to episode 13, because we are only halfway there. Get ready, get ready, get ready. I want to wish you love, light, peace, and blessings. I'll see you in the next one. Bye now.